Rescue efforts following a massive 7.7 magnitude quake. Some 1,700 people are now confirmed dead, and that number, though, is expected to go up significantly, and experts estimate the death toll could top 10,000. Efforts have been slowed by a lack of heavy machinery. International aid, though, is starting to arrive, bringing much-needed support.
Government and opposition forces have declared a 2-week ceasefire in the country's civil war to allow rescue efforts to go on. And President Trump announcing on Truth Social they'll be chopping down a magnolia tree outside the White House, said to have been planted by former President Andrew Jackson. Arborists have tried for decades to keep the ailing magnolia alive. President Trump says the tree is in bad condition and is a dangerous safety hazard. I'm Sue Gussman. This is Fox News.
Fox Facts.
Walk into any hospital or watch any medical drama and you'll see surgeons wearing bluish-green scrubs. But why that color? It's not just tradition, it's science. Surgeons spend hours focused on red tones, blood, tissues, organs. Staring at red for too long can create a green after image, making it harder to see clearly. Green, being opposite to red on the color wheel, helps reset their vision and reduces eye strain. Green also enhances contrast, making it easier to distinguish different shades of red. It minimizes glare under bright surgical lights and creates a more comfortable visual environment, allowing for greater precision during surgery. Originally, surgeons wore white, but bright lights made it too harsh on the eyes and stains became too visible. The switch to green was both practical and beneficial, improving vision, reducing fatigue, and creating a better surgical environment. Matt Murphy, Fox News.
KFC's Lent menu is filled with so many seafood options, it's enough to keep you going for the entire Lenten season. They're all here. Popcorn shrimp, fish wraps, fish fillets, shrimp and crab Killiquin wraps, and our famous KFC shrimp burger. And now you can mix and match chicken and fish in both 6 and 12-piece family meals with sides and biscuits. KFC's Lent menu is available for a limited time at all KFC restaurants and for delivery at kfcguam.com or WhatsApp 300-3278. KFC, it's finger-licking good for Lent.
It is 18:07 hours, time for Veterans with Benefits with your hosts, Anthony Tyron and Corinna Ballista.
Half a day. Welcome back, everyone. You're listening to us on The Point, 93.3. You can call into 671-888-TALK. And, of course, we always thank our sponsors, Ambrose Inc., American Legion, Post 1. Every second Saturday, they have steak day. You really have to go there. Call them at their office and reserve your steak. Really, really, really good. And then HFMC, Hubsabah Family Medical Clinic. Master Blasters for all your blasting needs. Domino's Pizza.
Thank you, Dane Titanone.
All right. And then 11Z's are right behind the radio station. I think today I had raspberry tea. So good.
I've tried that before. Yes, that's pretty good.
It's really good. So they offer 11% discount for veterans and military. Then JTC Services and the Most Services. And then we always talk about, my favorite part is Veteran of the Week.
Yay.
So Veteran of the Week this week is Jason John Cruz Afligui. I almost said Afaji, but it's Afligui. Jason John Cruz Afligui proudly served in the U.S. Air Force for nearly 12 years, dedicating himself to his country with honor and commitment. Enlisting on December 16, 2003, and completing his service on October 10, 2015, Jason held the AFSC 2A571 as a crew chief on aircraft, including C-130, C-17, and C-5. His military career took him from Little Rock Air Force Base, where he served from 2004 to 2007, to Anderson Air Force Base from 2007 to 2015, with significant deployments that enriched his experience and leadership skills. He was deployed to Aliyah Salim Air Base in Kuwait in 2005, Balad Air Base in Iraq in 2006 and 2007, and to Manas Air Base in Kyrgyzstan between 2011 and 2012. Growing up in a military family, with both his father and uncles having served, Jason always knew that answering the call of duty was his destiny. His time in the Air Force taught him discipline, responsibility, integrity, and the power of strong conviction. The diverse challenges and high-pressure missions he encountered instilled in him invaluable lessons in teamwork, resilience, and leadership, qualities that continue to shape his life long after military service. Today, Jason is dedicated to his family and community as he was to his country. He actively supports his son in pursuit of Aikido and encourages his daughter's passion for jazz dance. Jason also contributes to his local community by working at the Anderson Commissary and furthering his education at the University of Guam, utilizing his GI Bill benefits to expand his knowledge and skills. His commitment to continuous self-improvement reflects the same spirit of perseverance that he honed during his military career. In addition to his personal achievements, Jason stands by his wife, Erna Lynn, as the lead as she leads Matrasana Fitness Studio, reinforcing his belief in the importance of supporting family in every possible way. As he puts his education into practice after school, Jason carries forward the enduring lessons of service and sacrifice. He often reflects, "I am proud to have served in the U.S. Air Force and my country. My experience in the military has taught me discipline, responsibility, integrity, and strong conviction. It helped shape me into the person I am today." Jason Afflegui's life is a testament to the enduring values of service, family, and community. His journey from a decorated military career to his current role as a dedicated family man and lifelong learner exemplifies his unwavering commitment to honor and excellence in every aspect of life. Thank him for his service. Let us honor his service. Jason Afflegui, Veteran of the Week.
Be sure you go get your pizza. If you don't, you can give it to me.
Anthony says that every week. Dane, I think he needs a pizza.
Yeah.
And then tip of the week.
What is the process for getting VA medical care for my family members? While VA health care is primarily for veterans, spouses, dependents, and survivors may also be eligible for certain health care benefits and programs through the VA. These programs are separate from the veterans' own VA health care and have specific eligibility rules and application processes. Below is a breakdown of how family members can access VA medical care, what programs are available, and how to apply. Who qualifies for VA health care as a family member? VA offers medical care benefits to family members through several programs, including 1, civilian health care and medical program of the Department of Veterans Affairs. It's more commonly referred to as CHAMP VA. This is the main program offering VA health care coverage to eligible family members. I believe this coverage is only for those that are non-retirees, because retirees have their program already, and I don't believe the VA allows them to double dip in that fashion.
No, okay, yeah, they don't.
Yeah. Who is eligible? Spouse or child of a veteran who is permanently and totally disabled, that's P&T, due to a service-connected condition. Surviving spouse or child of a veteran who died from a service-connected condition or was rated permanent and total at the time of death. Not eligible for TRICARE. Military retiree dependents cannot have both. That's what we just talked about. What CHAMP VA covers: hospital care, outpatient services, prescriptions, mental health, and more. Similar to most major health plans. Requires use of civilian healthcare providers that accept CHAMP VA. So CHAMP VA is taken on Guam. We pushed that program out about 2, maybe 3 years at the most ago, where we discovered that, there's these ability for our dependents to get some help. And just like all the other federal programs, like Medicare, Medicaid, these programs with Champ VA are just the same. It's ran through the federal government. You have to call a specific number. You have to meet the requirements, and then they will take care of you. So how to apply? Complete VA Form 1010 Delta. That's the application for Champ VA benefits. Include documentation such as marriage certificate, birth certificates for children, and VA award letters. I'm almost certain this probably applies to parents as well if they're your dependents. Program of Comprehensive Assistance for Family Caregivers, PCAFC, provides health care benefits to approved caregivers of eligible veterans. Who is eligible? A family member's spouse, child, parent, etc., who is the primary or secondary caregiver of a veteran who has a serious injury or illness incurred or aggravated in the line of duty on or after September 11, 2001, or before May 7, 1975, or between May 7, 1975 and September 10, 2001. Under phase expansion, requires personal care services. Benefits include access to Champ VA, stipends, training, mental health services, and respite care. How to apply? Complete VA Form 1010 Charlie Golf Caregiver Support Program. Submit via mail, in person, or through a VA Caregiver Support Coordinator. More info on va.gov, and you got to go through the whole list of things that ends up with caregivers, family caregivers. Spina bifida.
Bifida, maybe?
Bifida?
Yes, spina bifida.
Oh, I love being corrected. Did you hear that, Jose? Spina bifida.
I corrected you in my head.
Thank you. And certain birth defects programs available to biological children of Vietnam or Korea veterans exposed to Agent Orange. We'll touch on that a little bit today, later on today. Certain Gulf War veterans. Covered conditions, medically diagnosed spina bifida, except spina bifida occulta. Certain birth defects for female Vietnam War veterans' children. Benefits include full health care coverage for condition-related medical needs, case management and reimbursement for travel expenses. How to apply? Contact the VA Spina Bifida Healthcare Benefits Program at 888-820-1756. And they're on va.gov. And the keywords there would be spina bifida at the end. How many members can apply? VA medical care. Here's a general step-by-step for most programs. Determine eligibility. Use the program guidelines above to see if the spouse, child, or caregiver qualifies. Gather documentation. This may include marriage, birth certificates, proof of dependency, veterans discharge papers, DD-214, VA rating decision showing permanent and total or cause of death. Complete application forms, Champ VA, VA Form 1010 Delta, or the Caregiver Program, VA Form 1010 Charlie Golf. Although VA medical care is primarily designed for veterans programs like Champ VA, the Family Caregiver Program, and Spina Bifida Healthcare provides essential support to qualifying spouses, children, and caregivers. If you believe a family member may qualify, applying promptly and gathering the right documentation is the key to accessing these benefits. My reading gets better and better every time I do this. I hope everyone's listening out there.
And then, did you want to say hello?
Yes, I wanted to say hello to Knox and Aaliyah, and I wanted to say hello to my mom.
All right. Let's just say hello to those listening to us online. Auntie Bobby Tyson on Hafaday, Tony and Karina, Brennan Fausto, good evening, brother. And Jose Martinez says, good evening, brother, with a salute.
Yeah.
William Cruz, listening. All right. Dolores Farron, we're listening to Brennan Fausto. Let's go, awesome veteran warfighters. Good evening. Jose gave him a salute. And Ishmael Velez says, standing tall and looking good. We ought to march in Hollywood.
That's an Army thing.
Is it? What
don't
does
know.
it mean?
Do they do that in the Air Force?
Really? We do? Oh, okay. I should have went with it.
No,
I
fun
should've
fact.
Go ahead.
Ishmael has worked with Hollywood before. He has
Oh.
some stories of, I think, Battleship, that one movie.
Oh, we need to talk to him.
That's Navy.
We,
Yeah, it is Navy.
We'll get him on the show.
yes. And then Frank and Chris Tidegui, Hafade
Hey.
HMI. Thank you for all you do and continue to do for us veterans.
Hello,
and for
guys.
all the new listeners out there, although Anthony and I are the radio hosts for Veterans with Benefits, we're also part of the nonprofit group HMI. Oh, I forgot to include them as HMI. Okay, so before we introduce our guest, we'll talk about all the events that happened the past week. So it was Vietnam Veterans Day on Saturday. Mm-hmm. So HMI participated in the lapel event. So that was at the Exchange. This is our third year. Thank you to Rochelle Roscoe and her team down there for inviting us back. And it was really nice because the veterans, they really felt honored. And we heard stories of veterans' families who served, who are no longer here. The Vietnam veteran is no longer here, and then we also had some of our local guys who served, and it isn't only Vietnam boots on ground era. It's also those that served during the time, and so Guam did lose some veterans to the Vietnam War. So I just wanted to read. I'm not going to be too fast, but I'm going to read the names.
Oh,
yes.
very good.
Jose Uggen, Francisco Asanoma, David Benaventi, Mark Biagini, James Blas, Juan Borja, Joaquin Cabrera, David Camacho, Donald Carter, Juan Castro, Juan Cepeda, Edward Cruz, Enrique Cruz, Joseph William Cruz, and Joseph Agui Cruz, 2 different cruises. Pedro Cruz, Ronald Casito, Alan Damian, Herman De Leon, Federico de la Cruz, Edward Diaz, Albert Doyle, Jose Duenas, Rudy E.A., Juanito Escano, Vicente Espinosa, Fernando Estevez, Joseph Estacio, Harold Finney Jr., David Flores, David Funes, David Gorton, Pedro Guerrero, Vincent Guerrero, Jose Herrera, Anthony Blas, Jesus Mariano, Robert Mendiola, Jesus Meno, Thomas Mesa, Vincent Morham, Emilio Nuttedog, Benny Flores, Francis Torrey, Gregorio Pangilinan, Pedro Pangilinan, Henry Pareda, John Perez, Vicente Perez, Johnny Kanga, Jesus Kidachai, Thomas Regis, Eugene Ripple, Thomas Rivera, Lucas Rodriguez, Ignacio Sablan, Antonio Sablan, John Sablan, Thomas Sablan, Rufo San Nicolas, Victor San Nicolas, George Sanchez, James Santos, Enrique Santos, Ernest Santos, Rafael Santos, Prishardo Torres, Johnny Tidegui, James Violet, and Rafael Scamballeri Yacoy. So I wanted to read those names. I know we will talk about them again on Memorial Day, but just wanted to read those names because, some of the stories that the veterans told us, especially the spouses, those were heartwarming. A veteran spouse said thank you, and she hugged the pin when we gave it to her, and she smiled for the picture. She really liked the fact that we were there that day. So we want to talk about that because it was a heartwarming moment. It was a really good event, and I'm glad that we have done that for the past 3 years.
Yeah, and every year, right, it seems like more and more our veterans are starting to feel more confident about, being proud of being a veteran and, understanding all the different benefits that might exist out there for them. And many times, they end up using these benefits towards the end, but we'd hope they jump in early on so that, they can take advantage of it a lot sooner, and hopefully it can take care of them. A few things on the Vietnam veterans, right, is all of them are, well, when we talk about those that were actually in Vietnam, right, and those that may have been in Guam or in the exposure locations, right, they're exposed to Agent Orange. So a few things about that is these veterans who have been in these areas and were serving, they need to look at seeking, at the very minimum, medical care. They go up to the CBOC, fill out a 1010 EZ form, and get medical care. If you're exposed to Agent Orange, you now can get medical care. If you don't want the compensation or you don't want to go through the hassle, at least get up there and register, and that helps all our other veterans. I would urge you to apply for your benefit. Get your disability, because you are presumptive for things like diabetes mellitus 2, ischemic heart disease, thyroid issues, bladder cancer, prostate cancer, and many other things. So go file it and let them award you, because you're not trying too hard to get to it, because you're presumptive because you were in the areas.
All right. And then, it's front page news. The missing team from Fort Stewart, Georgia, one of our own, Dante Taitano, they were on a training mission in Lithuania. So let's pray that we get some news about that.
Okay, yes.
And then we have coming up Benefits Boot Camp 40, April 8, 9, and 10. That's next week, right? Next week. And then Year of the Veteran Count. That has been moved to April 18 at 1:30 p.m. at Adelup. So we'll share the flyer and the announcement when it comes from the governor's office.
Okay, so mark your calendars, and we hope to see everybody out there. That's a good way for us to continue to keep the pressure on, so that we all get together. We seek the assistance from our government, from our military, and from our businesses out there to really take a look at how we can improve that count, because that count is what brings services to us. If our count goes up, there's a very good chance that the VA is going to have to give us our own hospital. If that count goes up, the VA has to provide services, and that equates to jobs out there. So many times when we're saying these things, it sounds like, we're just pitching some sort of, hey, go do this kind of thing because it's going to take care of veterans, right? It's an advertisement almost. But in fact, if you take care of these veterans, find you a veteran, get them registered, get them to turn in their claims, these folks will bring money to this island. If they file for their medical care, that saves businesses from having to put into that medical program. If the veteran is by himself and has coverage from the VA, he'll have money in his pocket, so it won't force him to try to milk the system for overtime. The VA will start sending money in, they'll have compensation, they can spend it, and the economic engine continues to churn.
And I just wanted to share about the numbers, right? We talk about the numbers, and people want to ask, well, why do you want to do this Year of the Veteran Count, Year of the Veteran Registry? Because there are three numbers, right? 20-some thousand the GOVA office is reporting, 11,000 the benefits office is reporting, and then almost 6,000 which the CBOC is reporting. And all three numbers are different. And someone wanted to know and brought it up at the Veteran Commission meeting and only let me talk for 5 minutes about these three numbers. They mean something. If all of these numbers are not the same, that means all these veterans are not getting compensation, which means money. All these veterans are not getting benefits. And all these veterans are not registered for health care. So yes, these numbers matter, and yes, these numbers count. So I almost forgot that I have a radio show every Monday night, and it didn't matter that they only let me speak for 5 minutes at the Veteran Commission meeting, because HMI is all over the place.
And to that end, right? If you're part of the leadership over there at the commission, if you're part of the leadership for anything that deals with veterans, it is your job. You are charged with helping all veterans on this island. And if that's something you choose not to want to do, then allow somebody else who wants to do it to step in there and take your place. If you're there for anything other than taking care of our veterans, you're in the wrong line of work. Your job is to take care of the veterans, not to take care of you. Now, if you are a veteran, I'm sorry, you might want to take care of them first because that's good leadership. You take care of other veterans and then you take care of yourself later. Unlike the way it seems with the aircraft where they tell you to put your mask on first. But when you decide to take charge of a group, your job is to get out there and take care of the veteran. And many of our veterans need a lot of help. So you leaders out there, if you're listening, take care of our veterans. They need a lot of help. And by the way, they'll bring you money. So go find them and take care of them.
We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to introduce our guest. You're listening to us on The Point. You can call into 671-888-TALK. We'll be right back.
How would you like to see Toto May 4th in Manila?
It's the Boss 104 flyaway that'll put you and a guest there.
The Boss 104 Toto Manila Flyaway in conjunction with Exchanged and Philippine Airlines.
Keep it here on The Point, Star 101 or Boss 104 for details soon.
Half a day. This is Jade Ugin from Security Title, and in celebration of Tomorrow Month, here is a tip on dealing with your land. You might be thinking of giving part of your property to your child or another family member. Once you have subdivided the property and recorded the map, you will also need to record the deed transferring the title. Just drawing the map is not enough to make sure they actually own the land. Protehi I Tanonmu. When it comes to your family land, call the professionals at Security Title. We are here to help.
Hi, this is Jerry Roberts. What's happening in the workplace? What about your job and career? What ideas will find their way into your world? That's what you get with the Extra Point every day on The Ray Gibson Show here on 93.3 FM. Sometimes it's about what's in the news, or working relationships, or how to get further and do better. I try to make it interesting, inspiring, and hopefully sneak a little fun in too. Be a part of it. 7:25 weekday mornings. The Extra Point. Brought to you by First Hawaiian Bank.
And we're back. We're back. So we have another Vietnam veteran family member, part of our team. Jose's dad was a Vietnam veteran and also Purple Heart. So he served. He was there in Vietnam in 67 to 68. So I think you're going to put up his photo, right? Oh, there he is.
There, it's up there. He passed in 2008, but he was active duty also after he got out of Vietnam. I think he was drafted, but he served in the 9th Infantry out of Fort Lewis. I think they have since been decommissioned, but it was a pretty cool time for him. He didn't really talk much about it until he was much older, and I wish I had recorded some of his stories he told me. But yeah, 67, 68.
Oh, that's so nice. I could see you in him.
Oh, he looks much better than me.
Well, and I now know why from this picture you didn't mess with him too much.
Never did.
Oh, well,
Very
thank him
nice.
for his service. So we were giving out pins. I'll find out if there's any extra, because I know we had ended the event early, and if there were any extra, the exchange took them back. So, but we do this every year, so I'll ask him if there's any extra. Jose.
Cool.
The pin. And then online, Ishmael Velez says, but I'm also an Army and Navy veteran.
Woohoo.
Ishmael Velez. And then we have Hebzaba FMC watching. That's Doc.
Is that Dr. Akoma?
Yes,
Oh
yes.
my gosh.
You know, he had to say something.
Yeah.
You guys can call in to 671-888-TLK. Anthony, you just wanted to talk a little bit about, before we introduce our guest, Medal of Honor?
So, yes, I'm going to talk about that. So we had an article in the paper, and it looks like this is going to be like the second round again that we're looking at taking care of this. And I think when we did this the last time, we got a lot of support from everybody. It was a different legislature, so maybe this time around we could get this current legislature to maybe put something together again. We'll get all the groups to really start, getting behind, seeing how we could get our Medal of Honor candidates across the line. And I mean, it's looking good. And from everything that I understood, right, speaking to a lot of different people about this, the Medal of Honor is not just something that's given to you. There's no way for you to just politically be handed a Medal of Honor. So if you're even in the mentioning of this, right, you've done great things. If you even get further than that, right, then you're starting to really see people that have really done some things that a lot of other folks didn't do, right? And those acts of, gallantry are very, very, very protected, because this is not something they just want to give out. So I think, again, we got to do the push, right? The more of us, the better. We've had some conversations with the CASAs, the previous CASA. Carl Peterson has, done some things to, get some traction on it. Noel Enriquez, who's the current CASA, has done some things. And, it doesn't hurt that every time there's something going on that we don't rally all our veterans and family members and the entire island to get behind our men who are even just candidates of the Medal of Honor. So, so we'll be looking out to getting some things going. The Lieutenant Governor had mentioned he had some conversations with, I want to say it's the Secretary of the Army. So, we're talking to folks at higher levels, but it doesn't mean that the rest of us also can't, keep our foot on the pedal and, really continue to do what we can. Anybody, there could be folks out there that, have some influence somewhere that, is not going to hurt for us to exercise the ability to say, hey, can you give us a hand? Mm-hmm. And, usually if we don't ask, they won't help. So I think that's something that we probably got to be doing. So it's that time again to really push this Medal of Honor with our three candidates. And the more we can do that, it's a really great thing for all of us to look at something that's not about us personally, but about our candidates. And what better way to show our unity by getting behind this. And, it shouldn't be me talking about all these things, right? I mean, this should be a conversation every veteran that is listening or is out there who has a newspaper or is watching should be talking about. Hey, how do we get involved in that? Hey, what can we do? Hey guys, did you get your group to do something with this? Did you write a letter? Did you send something in somewhere? We need to, then this goes back to why we need to be more organized here on this island. And unfortunately, our commission had just started getting together. We don't even have our bylaws put together. And it seems like there's so many things that aren't happening that should be happening. But if we waited this long, imagine what we're doing to ourselves. So once again, right, there are many people that are in that commission that have seen and done these things. Now we need for them to act. They need to do, not talk anymore. The time for talking is done. If all you want to do is talk, then maybe you need to get a talk show like mine, right? But at the end of the day, you're going to have to do some action. Yeah. People want to see you do something. So if you're a leader out there, do something. Mm-hmm. So one of the things I'm doing is I'm bringing more light to the problem and getting people together, because this is something we got to do. So if you're a veteran and you're listening, get around people, tell them to start talking about it, and tell them to support our 3 candidates. Get our guys across the line, get them that Medal of Honor, and that'll really be a lot for us to do, and it'll be a start, because if we start getting them to get that, what else is next, you know? So that's my thought on it.
Okay, thank you. So that was, if you missed it, that was the Medal of Honor for our 3 local.
Yeah, and thank you to the Congressman's office. They are actually out there doing some work. Of course, I reached out to Charlie Hermosa to get some of his contacts as well, and everybody that I had an opportunity to talk to, you know, I asked them to, hey, let's pay attention to this. And I think there's going to be some sort of a meeting, and I think maybe we'll do a Zoom call and everybody jump on. You know, everybody who, you know, who should be doing something should get on there and really work on it. You know, so maybe Ryan over at the Good Senator's office, the Committee on Veterans should be there. The Speaker of the Legislature should be there. Our GOVA Director should be there. You know, Chris Turan, all these folks. You know, I know we got all our other stuff going on, but this is important. Get that Medal of Honor. Get your people. Get your word in. You know, do a letter. Turn it in. Give it to the Congressman's office. Give it to somebody. Turn it in, and let's tell them we want them to help our candidates.
The more you can tell the story of their gallantry and heroism, the more it rings out. So you tell the story about exactly what they did, and you go into detail, and you find as many different ways that you can illustrate the story and really bring out the details of the story. That really makes a difference. And it's bigger than just getting the Medal of Honor, because even if they don't do that, the young people on the island get inspired by what this person did. When they really can, you tell the story in a way that you feel like you're there. Yeah. You can imagine I'm in the middle of, you know, this gunfire going on, and I'm in this really tough situation. What would I do, kind of thing? And that's the way that you want to bring the story out, so that it's bigger than just the Medal of Honor. Because even if you don't give me the Medal of Honor, our people can get inspired by that, and our people can push and say, "I want to be like that person."
And that's my cue for introducing our guest, Rob Jackson. You've been here before, with the most services. So he's here to talk to us about the new business you brought to the island, or device. We know you showcased it at the last week at the Guam Chamber of Commerce meeting. Can you tell us about it?
Yes, so I'm going to be a little bit wordy here, so I'm going to go backwards. I'm a retired Air Force colonel, 27 plus years in the United States Air Force, and I really appreciate my time in the Air Force because I was blessed with supervisors and bosses and leaders who really poured into me. They really gave me really great opportunities to develop professionally. Three particular opportunities come to mind. When I was a captain, I was selected to go to the Air Force Logistics Career Broadening Program. And basically what that is an intern program for mid-grade officers to learn about how the Air Force industrial depots work. So they send you to one of those industrial depots and they rotate you around all of the different areas. So you spend time in contracting, finance, supply chain, program management, production, etc. And for somebody coming from the flight line or the field, all of that's new to you. You know, you figure out how to do that. And I appreciate the opportunity to do that. The Air Force also sent me to school to, get an MBA program so that I can be taught cutting edge business practices and bring it back to the business side of the Air Force to apply to procurement, supply chain, et cetera. So I'm really appreciative of all of those opportunities that the United States Air Force gave me, and all of those people who poured into me to be in this position now as a retired Air Force officer, civilian life, being an entrepreneur, starting my own company. So you look like you were getting ready to ask me something.
Well, you know, it's great to have you here again, right? And it's really interesting on our walk over here, right, from Levensies, right? We talked a little bit, and you know, it's you know, I said, man, you and Charlie do a lot of work outside of, you know, everything else, right? And you know, as veterans, right, we look at what should we be doing and why are we doing these things? And you know, it looks like we should be, you know, finding a place to sit back and sip margaritas, you know, when in the end, there's still so much more that needs to be done. And this is what both you and Charlie are doing, right? And you know, we have to keep doing what we're doing. And here's the deal. This is next level technology that you're dealing with here, right? And it's really great. And I think it's at a time when, you know, things are starting. And then here on Guam, we're usually behind, you know, when the technology comes.
And that's the fuel that has lit my fire. So I call Guam my home now. I came over here 6 years ago on what was supposed to be a temporary 8-month assignment and ended up staying because I loved the island, I loved the people, I loved the culture. But at the same time, one of the things that drives my passion for the most services is I see what's going on in the bigger world. We are at the precipice of one of the biggest technological revolutions that we have seen in human history in the next 5 to 10 years. I mean, technology quite literally is getting ready to eat the world. There's literally a tsunami or a tidal wave that's going right now. So the question is, where do you posture yourself on that tidal wave? Are you going to be one of the ones who are riding the tidal wave and reaping the benefits and the opportunities that it's going to open up? Or are you going to be one of those ones who are going to get disrupted, destroyed, buffeted by it? Because it's real and it's coming. And I want Guam, I see a lot of opportunities with Guam to posture itself to be able to ride this wave and take advantage of the opportunities.
And it's good, right? I mean, I wish I knew you like back in like around 2007. I wrote a letter to Bill Gates back then. I did, and I said, Bill, you know, I need for you to come here to Guam and use Guam for whatever technology you need, right? Because here on Guam, right, we're kind of isolated, right? So if we do things here, right, it's kind of like difficult for us to disrupt everybody else. You see what I mean? Which is also one of the reasons why we don't do things here, right? Because everyone else does it, and then it comes here, and we're kind of behind the scenes before it happens. And the good thing is, you know, we now, thanks to the internet, right, we're able to communicate, see, and bring things here a lot sooner than we would usually have it.
And
so
if we can draw up a collaborated vision and plan with the leadership out in front and everybody bought into this, we can really posture ourselves for success because we truly are America in Asia. We are, you know, have our footprint in both areas, so we can take advantage of both there, particularly in this time of tariffs. Everybody's looking about what's going on with tariffs and this, that, and the other. That's actually an opportunity for Guam. Guam could be the first port of entry of goods coming into from Asia in order to, you know, go to market and get into supply chains.
Yes, and you know, I want everyone to know that you heard it first here on our show, right? But you know, we want President Trump to know that, you know, we're looking at the things he's doing in the United States, and as you said, we are United States here in Asia. So everybody that's doing things outside of Guam that have been taking advantage of everything that's going on, we need to follow the president's lead and get those things here to Guam. You see what I mean? So right now we're seeking services outside of Guam for our veterans. Let's turn that around and let those services be here in Guam and build Guam so that all the resources are here. And now these folks are coming here rather than us going out and the funding going out. Let that money come here.
we have the possibility to posture the island of Guam to be a true technology hub. We can do it. And I actually have a article that's coming out in the PDN, I think this Friday. It's talking about kind of the Singapore model.
Oh, yes.
You know, so, I mean, Singapore about the same size as Guam.
A little bit bigger, yes. Population is much larger.
Because they had explosive economic growth, because they postured themselves. They had a vision from the leadership all the way down. They got behind that vision and started working to posture themselves as a financial and industrial hub, economic hub.
And what they did over there had a lot to do with tax incentives, right? So they found ways to incentivize, you know, businesses to want to go to Singapore by allowing them to have some tax incentives. Here on Guam, we have the same thing. That's what we call out here the QC. And I'll thank the former director of GITA for educating me about that. So we have QCs to invite people here. And I don't know if you saw, the legislature was trying to work on a bill that would now allow the use of, for example, some government resources, but over a period of longer than 5 years, you know, because some of the laws only allow them to do business for 5 years, and most businesses cannot recover after 5 years, you know, much less 10. So a little bit longer might allow for these folks to, you know, get their capital back and, you know, build a vibrant, robust business here on this island. So a lot of our QCs, from what I understand, are stuck over at the AG's office, which means we need to find ways to see what those hiccups are so that we can get whatever the AG needs to say, oh, okay, I agree that we can do it this way. And now we're starting to get the economic engine again to start moving again. And the more we can do things like what you're talking about, the better.
Absolutely.
But back to your business.
Yeah, so what I'd like to talk about is some really innovative products and a really innovative company that I've partnered with. So IoT Solutions, they are a very, very innovative company on island. They're actually taking a lot of this technology, AI, IoT, sensors, preventative maintenance.
Yeah, that's a really good one that you talked about.
All of those kinds of things, yeah. And they're employing it in their operations, but even more, they're looking ahead and seeing ways where this can be employed in Guam. And one of the product offerings that I'm working with them on is something called Fleet Solutions. Yes. And basically it is a AI-enabled IoT device that sits in the windshield of a vehicle. And what that device is doing is it's collecting data, and it has a sensor looking forward on basically everything that the driver's seeing outside of the vehicle, and a sensor looking into the cab to see everything that the operator is doing. And it's collecting data, real world data, to be able to not just evaluate how well the vehicle is doing, but how well the operator is doing. And with that data, you really can make more fact-based, data-driven decisions to cut costs, to improve efficiencies, et cetera, and improve safety most of all. So this is a subscription-based device, and we like to say for $2 or $3 a day, we could save you about $12 to $20 on the back end. So it really is kind of that next technology. What you were talking about before, where Guam is kind of isolated, a lot of this technology is being driven and force-fed into the cabs of vehicles back in the States because of a couple of different things. One, when they passed the legislation on the 12-hour rule to make sure that drivers weren't on the road and busting their 12-hour time limit.
Because of safety.
Right. So you had to have automated monitoring in the cab to be able to make sure that people were compliant. So that brought kind of IoT and data and information fusion into the cab of the vehicles. The second thing is autonomous. So now, we're moving toward autonomous vehicles, and we're going to have probably the first autonomous trucks running routes in the southern part of the United States by the end of 2025. A company called Aurora Technologies is really, a leader in that, and that's what they're estimating. So there's forcing functions that are pushing that technology into the vehicle fleets and stuff of the United States. Well, here in the Guam, we don't really have those same kind of pressures. But if we jump on this, we can really posture ourselves for greater improvement, greater efficiency, greater safety.
And let's talk about, all the different things that come with it when we come back from the break. We are The Point. You're listening to us on 93.3. You can call into 671-888-TALK. We'll be right back.
Get Nissan Guam's absolute lowest prices this month only. Drive away in the completely redesigned 2025 Kicks starting at $24,883 and the 5-star safety-rated Versa starting at only $19,939. Don't be an April Fool and miss these prices. Your chance to save thousands ends March 31st. Get pre-qualified at NissanGuam.com today. Dock fees not included. See Nissan Guam for details.
KFC's Lent menu is filled with so many seafood options, it's enough to keep you going for the entire Lenten season. They're all here. Popcorn shrimp, fish wraps, fish fillets, shrimp and crab Killiquin wraps, and our famous KFC shrimp burger. And now you can mix and match chicken and fish in both 6 and 12-piece family meals with sides and biscuits. KFC's Lent menu is available for a limited time at all KFC restaurants and for delivery at KFCGuam.com or WhatsApp 300-3278. KFC, it's finger-licking good for Lent.
And we're back. Go ahead, Rob. You said you wanted to pivot?
Yes. So that was Fleet Solutions in a nutshell. But there are a lot of other IoT-enabled devices and other types of sensors that can be incorporated into how Guam businesses currently do their operations. And again, shout out to IoT Solutions. Very, very innovative. They're doing a lot of that stuff in their own business operations, and they're bringing more products to market to help others do the same kind of thing. Another product is the I-Class, and that's basically an automated key tracking and accountability system. So whether you're talking about keys or tools or whatever, a lot of folks are still doing it old school with shits and a tool monitor and stuff like that. With I-Class and similar kind of machines and automations, you can automate all of that kind of function and know exactly who has what vehicle checked out, when they checked it out, did they bring it back, all of that kind of stuff. So again, I-Class along with Fleet Solutions really provides you kind of a soup to nuts solution for transportation, delivery, distribution kind of functions, as well as heavy equipment.
So you talk about tracking keys and doing all these things. You think there's a possibility we can use this I-Class and IoT to track all our veterans here in Guam?
I believe that there are some technology solutions that we can do with this. I don't know if it's these things, but I guarantee you that there are technology solutions for us to help improve the accuracy of our count and to be able to maintain that accuracy going forward.
And more than that, maybe even track the things that are going on with, like, how many veterans checked in at the CBOC, how many veterans checked in. So now there's no more of this fluffing stuff, right?
Yes.
This is almost like Elon on Guam on steroids, right? Hey, you don't pay attention, you know, you're going to need more than 5 things to talk about the next time we see you, right? So we're going to get them doged out here, thanks to you. But you have a few other
Don't be
things.
putting that on me.
You have a few other things you're doing, and then we could close out. You got
Yes.
a podcast coming up. And other things. What was it you're doing?
Yeah, so I have a weekly podcast. It's called the Innovate Guam podcast. Had my first inaugural podcast last week, but it's going to be a weekly kind of thing. Our buddy Charlie Hermosa was my first guest, and this week we have Mr. Bert Johnston from the Trades Academy talking about workforce development. Also, I have a twice a month Innovate column in the PDN, so look for that the first and third Fridays of every month. I'll be talking about innovation, technology, and process improvement related topics.
Thank you so much for that. You know, you veterans, you're doing a lot of things out there taking care of this island. We got to really take care of all of you guys. So
I have a question.
Oh, sure.
Yes,
I always hear about podcasts, but where do we find this? Is it on a website? Are you through the podcast?
Yes, where can we find your
services?
podcast?
Yes, so I'm going to release it on all major social media platforms. The home of it is going to be YouTube, but you should be able to find it. And we'll be doing snippets, the same thing like with the Joe Rogan type thing. So you'll see snippets of it on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, etc.
Okay. All right.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for joining us.
And we'll set up another time to bring you back again, because seems like there's more things we got to be doing.
And there's never enough time to talk about everything on this radio show.
All right. So
All right.
Thank you so much. Thank you everyone for listening out there, and we'll be back again next week, same time, same place.
Yes. Thank you.
The likes of which nobody even thought was possible for many, many decades. And, you know, that has to stop.
The president says he expects countries to make deals lowering taxes and fees on American products and companies to move operations to the U.S. But economists and investors say there is concern of a sharp rise in prices. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.